We all know someone who finds a catastrophe in every compliment. They inhabit a permanent state of gloom, turning every Monday meeting into a funeral and sending texts that could darken a cloudless sky. Before blaming the complainer, consider your own brain. Your amygdala, your brain's central alarm system, contagion. Without your conscious input, your mirror neurons automatically mimic the vocal tones, facial expressions, and postures of the people around you. This mimicry forces your nervous system to actually feel the bitterness expressed by others. Controlled experiments at the Wharton School demonstrate how a shared environment acts like a conductor. A single person's negative affect can ripple outward, reshaping the mood, cohesion, and overall performance of an entire team sharing the space. We lack a biological off switch for this process. Our hardware treats someone else's negativity like an airborne virus, flooding our bodies with cortisol and adrenaline before we have even registered the interaction. Physical distance provides less protection than expected. Emotional contagion bypasses physical boundaries entirely. In 2014, researchers tested this by manipulating the news feeds of over 689,000 users. For a specific test group, they deliberately reduced the positive content displayed on their screens. The results showed that users exposed to less positive content began posting more negatively themselves. The moods of people you have never met can alter yours through a screen. If a stranger's digital post can biologically alter your mood, the daily physical presence of a chronic complainer represents a very severe drain on your finite emotional resources. Everyone experiences situational negativity after a job loss or a health scare. Chronic negativity is different. It persists regardless of circumstances, coloring neutral events with suspicion. It is a stable, lifelong personality trait, often rooted in early childhood. This illustrates self-verification theory. People with negative self-views seek unfavorable outcomes and reject positive information. Being right about disaster feels safer. For the cynic or victim, pessimism acts as psychological glue, holding their identity together. Changing this threatens their coherence. Take the chronic complainer. If they receive a raise, they focus on what it was not. This fault-finding is a safety behavior designed to preempt disappointment. They avoid expecting anything good, so they can never be let down. Because negativity is their core identity, treating their complaints as a puzzle to be solved feels irrelevant or insulting. You are inadvertently challenging the internal framework that makes them feel secure. Telling a negative person to look on the bright side triggers reactance theory. When people feel their freedom to feel a certain way is restricted, they dig deeper into that emotion to reclaim their autonomy. Over-validating is equally risky. Nodding along and offering dramatic sympathy provides a massive psychological reward for the complaining behavior. This follows B.F. Skinner's principles of operant conditioning. Behavior receiving attention and sympathy gets repeated. By validating every grievance, you accidentally ensure the negativity continues. This cycle traps empathetic people in the drama triangle. You start as a rescuer trying to cheer them up, but you eventually burn out and become a resentful victim of their constant drain. Our deepest empathetic instincts to rescue or comfort a negative person are the exact mechanisms that lock their chronic negativity in place. Breaking this cycle requires differentiation of self. This is the ability to remain emotionally connected to someone while maintaining a clear sense of where their feelings end and yours begin. Ethan Cross's research on self-distancing shows that analyzing a situation from a third-person perspective lowers emotional reactivity. Silently narrating the interaction, "I notice he is catastrophizing again," creates an immediate psychological buffer. You can then use validation without amplification. Phrases like, "That sounds hard," acknowledge their reality without pouring gasoline on the fire. You are reflecting the feeling back without escalating it. Because extended exposure intensifies emotional contagion, you must time-box the interaction. Setting a limit of 10 or 15 minutes respects their need to be heard while preventing an infinite complaint spiral. Applying structure and distance allows you to care for the person without feeding the toxic loop that keeps them stuck. Failing to set limits leads to compassion fatigue. This results in emotional exhaustion, detachment, and physical stress symptoms because you are constantly managing someone else's internal world. Using the Dear Man framework provides a practical way to assert boundaries. By describing the situation factually and expressing your needs, you significantly increase the chances of the other person agreeing to your limits. This gauge shows John Gottman's magic ratio. Healthy relationships require 5 positive interactions for every negative one. When that ratio collapses toward 1-to-1, the relationship is no longer providing secure functioning. Walking away from a chronically negative family member involves ambiguous loss. You are grieving the relationship you hoped for while the person is still alive. A state that requires accepting the relationship is no longer safe. You cannot control whether someone chooses to live inside their own storm. Choosing how close you stand to the rain preserves the emotional energy you need for every other interaction in your life.